Alright, welcome to day 36 of the Blizzard Buddies competitive group Ironman journey. Right out the gate, daily videos are not going to be possible for me anymore this month. I thought I might be able to keep it up, but it's just not realistic. In-game progression takes longer and longer at these levels, and December is my busiest work month of the year, IRL, so I'm prioritizing that. My new plan is just to make a Blizzard Buddies video when I can, so probably once or twice a week. That said, today's video is going to be a monumental one for our team. We got some crazy drops, completed some of the most iconic quests in the game, and secure the world's first Journey Tier 8 broadcast. Enjoy the episode. Starting the day with a farming level. There's going to be 73 farming, and unfortunately after this I think I am going to retire the frogs for a little while. I think everyone's saving up for a trapper, and I'm the only one without it, so it's time to stop leeching, save up my beans, and get the trapper unlocked. I wanted to save my Tears of Guthix as long as possible to see if I could get 80 crafting beforehand and I could make the upgraded bowl, but doesn't look like I'm going to be able to this week, so I'm getting it done now, and hopefully it'll still be maybe 2 levels of archaeology. We'll see. Alright, just a level, but there's 56 archaeology, which actually unlocks Darok's Mementos. That's pretty cool. Little extra incentive to do some Barrows runs. I just kind of realized this since I've been doing Nemi Forest each day, but this player who's been sitting in the hammock has been there for the last, I think it's 3 days that this world has been the Nemi Forest world. So it leads me to believe that this is actually an instance, and the only way it stays open is if a player holds the instance opens. So I thought that was pretty unusual that, this player just stays here all day, as many days as possible, so that people can complete their Nemi Forests. It's a bit of a strange playstyle, but obviously it helps the community, so that's pretty cool. Shout out to them. But yeah, I did not know that about Nemi Forest. Alright, this section has sucked so bad already. I've been trying to complete this banana section of Do No Evil for like the last 5 minutes or so already. It's so finicky, I don't get it. I mean, what happened there? That one was fine. I placed a banana. He didn't even get out of the starting room there. I'm going to just start placing them like every 3 tiles. Alright, this one's looking promising. About halfway there. What the heck? This is actually so frustrating. It's one of the most frustrating quests I've ever done. Oh, give me a break, man. Those were perfectly placed. Okay, no way it fails from here. This has to be the one. I'm going to drop extra bananas. Please. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, that was really terrible. That took way longer than it should have. Right now I'm going to turn in the Do No Evil quest. Pretty big quest. I think it's got some good XP rewards, but more importantly is that it's a journey achievement requirement. So hopefully that broadcasts in the Ironman chat. Yeah, there it is. Snow Worries has completed Journey Tier 8, Do No Evil for the group, so it's pretty big. We're really close to getting the total levels already, so I'm not really worried about that, and Chills is doing the Daemonheim Hard achievements. Knocking out my Chaos Ellie Reaper. It's kind of a cool Reaper to get done. A lot of times like you'll come here with Desert Souls, and then you'll leave with a full inventory of sharks, so it's not the upgrade that you would think about when doing PVM, but it's a little bit of an upgrade. Getting a higher tier food for free, plus the Slayer XP and Reaper points. I'm going to do some Cyruss Slayer for the next little while, and I actually learned that there's a new method. I do have a guide on my YouTube channel about this, so nothing is too new really. You still do this surge and click at the same time, but this method allows you to skip killing the witch every time, which is a pretty big time save. You still use the platypus to make a blocking wall for yourself while dealing full damage, but what you do is you come to the Cerberus room, you stun him with a basic stun, come to the corner, and then bladed dive to the opposite corner when Cerberus starts running. And then once you're in this corner, then you call your platypus to create the barrier. And you don't even have to be super precise with this. Even if Cerberus hits you once, you'll still get the blocking with the platypus just fine. Or you could even stun him again if you wanted. But you'll see the witch is gonna come look into the corner and she's gonna be confused, do a little arm shrug emote, and head on out. So saves us a good amount of time and makes this method even more AFK. Alright, been doing this for a while, and here comes a big level. This is 75 Slayer. I don't think it actually unlocks anything in particular, We'll have to see. Okay, so City of Seniston and Gargoyles unlocked, so actually it's pretty good. But yeah, it's a nice milestone level. I think I'm going to keep doing this at least until I get 75 magic, because that's going to be the requirement that I'm missing for While Guthix sleeps. And I've been talking about doing that quest for way too long. I'm done with Cerberus for now. I did most of my task there. I had a 90 task, and I'm down to 38 on my counter. So I did 52 Cerberus kills, got myself a bunch of Dungeoneering tokens, and now I'm just going to buy pretty much all of the scrolls that are in here. I think that's going to be everything that I need for now. I'm also going to buy a Ring of Vigor. And I'm going to glance what else looks appealing. Definitely want the Scroll of Gathering for DG Div. And the Scroll of Quick Teleportation is just a really nice quality of life whenever you're doing floors. And let's see, I don't quite have enough for anything else, but there's also not a lot that I'm going to need anymore. I mean, maybe Chaotix, maybe I'll want the Herbicide at some point. But for now, I'm really happy with that. That's basically all the big scrolls and all the big DG unlocks done. Quick little daily, should be a couple levels. There's 76 DG and 76 woodcutting. Kind of cool little synergy there. I know 76 woodcutting is the requirement for Branches of Darkmare. And actually my final requirement for that quest, so I'm going to have to start working on that quest series after I get Prif. Knocked out my Hermod Reaper here. Was a kind of a long Reaper. I got assigned 20 of them, which I assume must be the max roll. But I ended up getting 3 plates, so that's going to be nice for my tier 80 armor. Once I can get the Greater and Sold cloths for that. 80 hit points. That's going to unlock Nex armors for my account. Haven't done Nex since that first session with Accident, but something to look forward to do some more Nex in the future. And here's the main reason I was here at the Abyss, just getting 75 ranged, and that will essentially be the final requirement for Prif. I do have a plan to finish off my prayer using quest XP rewards. But for now, with 75 ranged, I've got everything I need to get through the Elf quest line up to Plague's End. While I'm thinking about it, I'm unlocking the Codex Ultimatus from the dig site tutor or professor, whatever his role is. And that unlocks the Tendril abilities, which are all pretty good. This quest is one that has a lot of big XP rewards. Notably, it has an agility reward of 60,000 XP, so that's pretty nuts. It's going to be a big boost for my account. Do I get any levels? Puts me just shy of 75 agility, which I still need, but the other quests in this quest line are going to get me that level. Also gives me 62 rune crafting, so that's pretty nice. Any free rune crafting is good in my book. Don't you just love old quests with their janky minigame gimmick mechanics? This little paintball sniper rifle section of sorts has not been cooperating with me. Not only are the sheep walking in and out of my crosshairs all the time, but moving the crosshairs does not function as you think it would. Half the time you'll press the left or right button 10 or 12 times and it'll only move once. If it moves at all, so it's definitely been a little bit frustrating. There's Morning's End Part 1 done, and you know what that means. It's gonna be time for the dreaded sequel. Alright, we did it. Shout out to Pupstomp, who's done this quest much earlier than us and suffered through getting the 50 items required to get that death talisman, so big sacrifice on his part made this quest a little bit easier for all 3 of us who've done it after. But there we go, there is Morning's End Part 2 completed. So just 2 quests away from getting into Prif. I also thought this quest was going to give me an agility level, but looks like it put me just shy. Like, I think I do 1 lap and I'm good. So I'll go just do a quick wildy lap. Alright, there we go. There's 75 agility, which is another requirement for Plague's End done. And the other big thing with that quest is that I actually passed 250 quest points, so I can go get myself another quest dice. Get myself another much needed 1,000,000 coins, and hopefully another fortunate component. What do we get? 1,000,000 coins and a Zamorak Stole, which I do think is a fortunate component, so very nice. There we go. The penultimate quest, Within the Light. Completed. Good amount of XP from that. No levels. But now, the only thing missing for Plague's End is my prayer level to be at 75. And for that, I'm actually going to use a couple of the lamps from While Guthix Sleeps. So that's my next objective, is work on that quest line. There's Curse of Arav complete. I actually really like this quest. I didn't really love the mining portion, Feels pretty unnecessary having to go mine the rocks from all the different angles to break them. But I like the section in Zemmer dungeon where you have to use the macaw pouch and your insulated boots. It's got some kind of MacGyver vibe to it, so I enjoyed that. A little mini quest I probably should have done much earlier in the account, but there is the hunt for Sirach Magus completed, which unlocks Bork. I don't know how good doing Bork is in the current year, but I've got it unlocked, and he gives a handful of gems as a reward as well. And that is the final quest I was missing before I can do While Guthix Sleeps. There is Dream Mentor completed. Not a lot of big rewards from this one, but quick little quest. And now on to the big one. Alright, gotta be one of the most iconic cutscenes in the game here. We all know what's gonna happen to Mr. Hazelme here in the front. One thing not a lot of people know is there's actually a 1 in 2 million chance that when he dies in the cutscene, that he drops his Hazelme ring. So we'll have to see if we're lucky. Alright, here he comes. Hazelme's about to die. Do we get the ring drop? We got it. Unbelievable. There's a Hazelme's ring. First hero item for the Blizzard Buddies. First ever HSR I've had in my life. Definitely 100% believable. This editing gives Iron Araxer a run for his money. So I'm expecting this boss fight to be kind of tricky. I saw from Chill's video, looked like he had a little bit more of a difficult time than he anticipated, so hopefully it'll be fine with Necro. Apparently you just bypass his mechanic of draining your stats, and it looks like I'm going to kill it before I even finish formulating this thought, so that's a bit underwhelming. How about the Tormented Demons? Using Necro on these guys also bypasses their prayer mechanic, so yeah, it feels pretty silly. Not to mention the Stone of Jas boosting my stats to 240 plus. But that is the big one done. That was a couple hours to complete that quest. Longer than I remembered it being. Pretty fun though. I enjoyed doing all the portions of that. Maybe it was the nostalgia, even though I was spacebarring everything. I still had a pretty good idea what was going on, and I enjoyed a lot of the gameplay of that quest. But now I'm going to use the XP rewards. I'm going to put a few of them on prayer, which may be controversial. Of course, a lot of people want to put this on Herblore as an Ironman, and even more controversial, I'm going to put this last one onto crafting. My logic being that training prayer right now at this stage of the game is the hardest that it will ever be in the life cycle of this account. Once you get to 75 and get Prif unlocked, training prayer is a total breeze. All you need to get to 99 is something like 50 million coins, doing the cleansing crystals, and once I have access to something like Zamorak, making 100 million a day in alkables is very realistic. So it won't ever be a problem anymore. Won't have to worry about putting any lamps into prayer at this point. And also controversial, maybe putting that last lamp into crafting instead of Herblore, but I'm just really excited to get Invention unlocked as soon as I can, so that's really my only logic for that one. And I suppose we also have Chills, who's already got overloads unlocked, so we can leech a few overloads off him. Don't want to leech too many, but until we catch up with our Herblore levels, we can borrow a few of his overloads. Now it's getting pretty late, but I'm going to see if I can get to Plague's End. Also going to try and stay up a little bit longer because we're right on the verge of getting that world's first broadcast. Alright, I barely managed to stay up. I didn't end up recording the audio once again. Wouldn't really be a Cyruss video if the OBS didn't fail to record the team audio at some point. But Chills will have the audio. I wasn't talking much anyway. It was a little bit too late at night for me. I was laying in bed and just trying to knock out this quest so I could get to sleep. But there is the Journey Tier 8 world's first broadcast for the Blizzard Buddies. Chills got it done, suffered through some dungeoneering to save up, I think it's like 350k tokens that you need to complete the hard diaries. Slightly excessive requirement for a hard diary, in my opinion. But really big one to get done. Really cool to have another spot on the Ironman plaque. And also a pretty cool timing for me because I was completing the final boss of the Plague's End fight. So a little bit of a double milestone from my perspective. We got the world's first broadcast, and just a couple minutes later, I completed Plague's End and gained myself access to Prif. So got a ton of these big 50k experience lamps in all of the Prif skills. Unfortunately, none of them ended up giving me a level. A lot of them put me really close to getting a level. Still, really big achievement, really happy to finally be in Prif. I can start AFKing Crystal Harps, which is probably going to be my method for unlocking Invention at this point. And here is the clip of me coming to the lodestone, activating that, unlocking every lodestone in the game, getting a little rune score achievement for that. You know I love my rune score. And after that, it looks like I head just straight for the harps. I know what I'm doing at this point. Don't recall exactly what I did afterwards, but I probably just AFK'd harps until I fell asleep, so it was a pretty good way to end the night, getting that world's first broadcast, getting Prif, and getting the crystal harps unlocked. Early afternoon the next day, you could see by the clock on my interface, I was still doing harps, and you could actually see that Ant got himself his first gates drop, much deserved, and it was a pretty big one. He got himself the Runic Attuner drop. Definitely not as good as a Memory Dowser, arguably not as good as a Scripture drop, but I think it's a big drop still. I was very excited to see that. I think these kind of early to mid-game levels of rune crafting are a little bit awkward to train, waiting till you get all of the buffs like the rune pouches and the Infinity outfit, and even the Abyssal Titan familiar. Training rune crafting without all of these things is a little bit less pleasant than it could be. So having access to the Runic Attuner is going to give us more XP, it's going to give us more runes, which we'll definitely need for making Biswax and general combat purposes. It's also going to give us more magical threads as we do our rune crafting, which will be big for our future PVM. We're definitely going to each want at least 3 rune pouches, so really good drop to get out of the way. Ending the video, I don't have pictures of my teammates, but just showing the overall leaderboards. There's been some pretty big shifts in the ranks below ours. We've got Swificency at rank 2 now, followed by CGIM Me, who's been on the podium before, but looks like with how things have shaken up, that they'll be here to stay for the next little while. So congrats to those guys. It's pretty cool to see. As for ourselves, we're still finishing as the rank 1 overall team in the game. Got a pretty sizable lead over the next guys, but they are progressing fast. I would say at a similar pace to how Necroband was progressing about a week ago. But we've got our total level at 8,804. The next Journey tier broadcast is going to require us to get a group total level of 9,200. So we're starting to approach that. And the other big requirement for the Journey tier 9 broadcast is to complete the Tyrannwyn Hard Diaries, which actually have some pretty big level requirements, including 88 summonings. So it'll probably be a little bit tricky to get that broadcast. But we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Seems to be working pretty good so far. Just keep grinding. Just keep making a little bit of progress each day. And hopefully we'll secure that world's first tier 9 and hopefully even tier 10 broadcast. But that's going to be where I call it a video for today. If you have been enjoying keeping up with our rank 1 competitive group Ironman journey, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, as I'll be making regular uploads for the next little while. 70% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so please double check if you are subscribed. It's free, and it motivates me to keep making these videos. I'm hoping to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.